Galatians chapter 3 says this. We read this last week. For now we are all children of God through faith in Jesus Christ. And we who have been baptized into union with Christ are enveloped by Him. Wow. Wow. Surrounded. Enveloped by Him. Just through simple faith. Talk about taking the pressure off. It just took all the pressure away. Another word for it, I think, is grace. It's grace. It's mercy. You know, some of you are thinking, well, this isn't really all that profound. I mean, this is rather simple. Maybe lucky you were never tortured like I was. This has been so profound for me. Profound for me. I thank you for enduring my rantings every week as I process some of these things. You know, as you let me work through this publicly. Thank you. That means a lot to me. You should hear my you don't want to hear my private conversations. Be glad you weren't in on the conversations I had with God. I said this months ago. I said, I've been going through a shredding of my own religion. Far, far, far cry for it was supposed to be here. And God undid so many false things in my mind. He just changed so many things were just rearranged and put back in place. And I remember saying this. It's like God erased the picture that I had of Him and redrew it. And He was a lot happier. Had a bigger smile on His face, and His arms were a lot wider, and God was a lot kinder and a lot nicer than I thought He was. Me and my saying this. Don't live in frustration spiritually. There's a lot of things in life to frustrate you. Right? Plenty of things to frustrate you. You've got work, you've got family, you've got your health, you've got your spouse, you've got the government, you've got so many things in life to frustrate you and aggravate you. Don't live in spiritual frustration with God. Don't live that way. Just let your roots grow deep in the soil of God's unfailing, unconditional love for you. Let Christ take up residence in your heart and let Him be at home. You don't have to pretend around Jesus. You want to know? You want to know how shallow and pathetic it really was for me? This is how I'm just they're all out here, right? I really used to think that I had to pray a whole lot harder on Saturday night and Sunday morning. Put in my time, beep, so that I could be ready on Sunday morning for church. If I didn't get all that time in, I'm not knocking prayer. I'm telling you, I had a screwed up thinking that was all focused on me. And it led to so much frustration. There's a lot of salvation by works. And I gave up to pretending. And I decided I was going to be a little bit more honest with God. Because He really knew who He was. I hadn't tricked Him. I had fooled Him a bit. He was well aware. Every time that by guilt I picked up that Bible to read it, and every time by guilt that I decided I better pray because God's watching, I wasn't fooling Him a bit. Quit all the pretending, I'm not going to live under this frustration anymore. And everything changed. And I can tell you now that the relationship I'm having with God right now makes everything that I've had in the past pale in comparison. And if you'll just pray, Lord, if you'll just live like I live, no. If you'll just be honest with God. If you'll just be honest with God and let your roots grow into His love and rest in the fact that He enfolds you and embraces you and you are in Him and He is in you, let the frustration go. I think Jesus does exactly what He's supposed to do. He just keeps revealing the Father to us. Jesus just keeps opening my heart and my mind to more and more and more things. And I go, wow, God, who did I think You were? It's awesome. It's awesome. Please don't go out of this room thinking, I wish I was a spiritually stopped. You totally missed the point.
I'm glad I'm more spiritual.
Just be glad you're more spiritual and you don't mess with any of this garbage. Let's pray, all right? Father,